This movie did not trigger me at all.
Okay, so Max Landis wrote the script that...
I'm triggered. This is a podcast where we watch bad movies and then we talk about them. Do you want to say the whole thing?
That's not it.
That's not our thing.
No, that's
Is it
not
our
our
thing?
thing.
We do that, though.
I don't all the way remember it, so let's just get to it.
It is
A podcast no one asked for about movies nobody likes.
Nobody likes.
The unwanted epilogue.
This is the unwanted epilogue. Do 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 do.
No songs.
Do.
I'm Jill.
I'm Ford.
And I'm Patrick.
And we watched Netflix's
Orc Cop.
biggest investment in movie film form, Bright.
Is it?
Yeah, trivia. This is the most money, $90 million, the most money they've spent on a movie. That was like their fucking movie.
It didn't have Adam Sandler in it.
Ugh. But yeah, so they were like, we are gonna fucking kill it with Bright. So they spent a bunch of money on it.
They did.
Yeah,
No, I can agree to disagree. I wasn't a fan. I didn't remember much of it. I found it non-memorable. It was like watching The Mummy. It was just so bland.
you know, I fell asleep the first time through. But I finished it today, so I did see the whole thing.
I mean, I saw the whole thing. I watched it.
We saw the whole thing.
It was just
I was
bad.
present in the room when it was on, but I don't remember everything I saw.
Okay, also, it's almost 2 hours. It's
way
crazy
too
long.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I love this movie. I thought this was one of the best movies we've watched.
Did
so
you actually
far.
love this movie?
I really did like it. And not...
Is that why you haven't been saying, like, shit to us all night?
Yep.
Like...
Because he didn't want to
You're
spoil
just,
it.
like, keeping a cork
He
in
didn't
it?
want to let us know that he was going to go counterpoint on our asses.
Wow.
I didn't think it was a good movie, but
You love the premise and stuff?
I kinda loved it. Like, it was so bad in every way that it could have been bad. And yet it somehow worked a little bit. Like, not all the way. In fact, there were a lot of parts that it didn't work at all. But, like the fight scenes, for example, which were terrible.
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves, because that's what we do.
We are.
It was like boring like The Hobbit was to me, the Hobbit movies, where it's just kind of like, all right, I get it. Like, I know elves are like high and mysterious and stuff, and
The
orcs
elves are
just,
the bourgeois class.
yeah,
Stop.
orcs are the Klingons. Like, I understand.
That sound I just made, I did like 15 of those watching this movie. Just
I
like,
will say this, the first like 15-20 minutes where they were doing world building and showing all of the different like orc district and the elf district, and they showed a Centaur cop.
they did show a Centaur cop.
And I was
liked
like-
that. I'm not gonna lie.
How does a Centaur cop fly on an airplane?
Just,
do they make you buy 2 plane tickets, or do you have to ride in the cargo hold?
do his pants cover his entire horse part
Right.
and go to his
How
waist?
how does a Centaur wear pants? Do they go from the under part, or does it cover his back half?
Yeah.
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 This really touched the two of you in a
Yeah.
How does the
Well, I have a lot
Centaur
of-
wear pants? though?
beautifully curious way.
I have so many questions.
There were a lot of questions. But
Yeah.
that was the best part, I thought, was that first little bit.
It seems like this would have been a lot better, and a lot of people have already said this, so I'm not creative or new in saying it. But it would be better as like a TV show,
Yeah.
where if
Probably.
they had more time to develop the world and the characters, and it would have been a little more meaningful. Whereas they just like kind of blew past all the shit. Like there's orcs, there's elves, there's humans. Everyone's racist.
All of the races are different. Just because they're different doesn't mean anybody's better or worse than anybody.
Everyone's
Yeah.
racist. And there's
There's-
graffiti that says, be yourself.
Oh no.
Be yourself, people.
And there's wands and spells which are basically like they're like illicit like weapons, right?
Yeah.
A wand is,
No,
they say it's a
That's
nuclear.
the long and short of it.
The orc uses the word nuclear. It's like a nuclear weapon.
It's a magic wand. This is like a nuclear weapon that grants wishes.
Okay, first of all,
Nuclear.
orcs are clearly uneducated. And due to a mistake in their past, kind of a reverse Jesus Christ situation where they like backed the wrong pony as opposed to Christians who backed the right pony. But like, or I'm sorry, like a guy, not a pony. You guys get what I'm saying.
Wait,
But-
but the guy's a centaur?
No,
So
no,
he's like a pony
the Dark
guy?
Lord. It was unclear what the Dark Lord was.
He's a pony?
No,
I
I mean
don't
in the
even
movie.
know.
They never said what he was or who he was. If
And
he was an elf or
He's a pony
whatever.
that wears pants?
Yes, a unicorn.
Dude, this movie. Okay, wait a minute. So,
Orc cop?
this movie made by Trigger Warning Entertainment, which
right
will
away-
be 2 years old in 2 days.
Trigger warning entertainment.
That's a real life thing.
Oh no.
I wish I made it up.
This movie did not trigger me at all.
Okay, so Max Landis wrote the script that
I'm triggered.
Max Landis. He got
Okay.
paid more money than I will ever see in my lifetime, probably.
So, are you okay? Are you okay? All right.
I almost
So
spit
they
on the
paid
computer.
him.
They dropped-
I read
they cut him a
3.5
check.
million.
They just gave him a fucking check for
They
the
did.
script.
Okay, but wait though. So I didn't know jack shit, right? I picked this movie because it
3.5
just, you know, you
million.
turn on Netflix to like
No,
watch
you picked it
things
because I
you
said
like.
you should do this movie.
But the fucking trailer, you know, because Netflix makes you watch the trailers. Okay, so it keeps coming up, and whatever. These two can't stop talking about Orc Cop.
Orc cop?
So, yeah. Okay, so Max Landis wrote this, but I go to look him up, and he wrote Chronicle, which I liked. That's the one with the little superhero boys.
Oh,
Yes.
Chronicle?
With, like, the found footage kind of stuff
Yeah,
going on.
yeah,
I
yeah.
liked that movie.
that
was
was
pretty
an
good.
early movie of his, though, right?
That was like his first big movie.
Well, okay, he wrote American Ultra, which was...
Yeah.
that
I
movie
liked
was
Chronicle.
shit.
I liked Chronicle.
He also made... Didn't he make Suicide Squad?
Okay, wait though. So when he wrote it, he's
The guy who
like,
directed
I
it
want this fucking
made
guy, David Ayer. Is that how you say it? Anyway, so he wrote Suicide Squad, End of Watch, Training Day, Harsh Times. He does Cops, and then Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Which, by the way,
And
he
Orc
didn't
Cop.
even write a new movie for this movie. He just rewrote Training Day and Suicide Squad. And
Okay, so that's the other thing. I found the
Them
script,
together.
the Max Landis script, which I only made it through like 5 pages. Because once again, I just finished this movie today. It's not at all the same.
David S. Goyer.
Why does it show it
Wait, is that a different guy?
A-Y-E-R?
That's a different guy. He wrote other movies.
I can read.
David, what's his name?
A-Y-E-R.
Yeah, he's the guy who made Fury. You liked that movie.
Fury?
Yeah.
Oh, he co-wrote
The
The,
tank
Fast
movie?
and the Furious.
It was alright.
I mean, it's okay.
Okay, so anyway, Max Landis is like, man, I want that fucking Training Day guy to make my, like, what do you say? It's gonna be my Star Wars.
He did tweet that, and
That's
then
a
he
real
deleted
life
that
thing. Well,
tweet.
I wish he hadn't deleted it because that is funnier if
It's
he
on the
leaves it,
internet.
honestly.
So he didn't delete it. Everyone's screenshotting it at him after they saw the
Okay,
movie.
but something
Wait, sorry, what did the
I
tweet
think
say?
is noteworthy. Oh, that this was going to be his Star Wars. That Bright would be his.
Bright is going to... It just said Bright, like, it said this movie will be my Star Wars.
Well, yeah, they gave it a sequel. Well,
No, he said this before it got
Oh,
made.
yes, before.
He said this, like, when he sold the script for it.
Max Landis?
Yeah, on Twitter he was like, guys, I don't want to, like, speak too soon or anything, but I think this could be my Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay, I mean...
So Max Landis is
Well, that's a
1
different
year
tone.
older than me.
And who's his dad?
John Landis,
Who made...
who made a bunch of shit.
I didn't go
Famously,
that far.
he murdered someone on the set of the Twilight Zone movie.
Holy
Oh, yes.
shit.
Right, he's that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, he's that guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
There are rumors
The
that Max
helicopter thing?
Landis
Was
likes
it the
to
kids?
sexually harass people. What?
He killed those
What?
kids, right?
I think he was a kid.
Yeah, it was a kid.
What?
I don't know.
It was with like a helicopter
Maybe like
accident.
3 people.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was like, it was 1 kid and like 2 adults, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
that he molested.
This took a
That
turn.
Max Landis allegedly.
So it was a cover-up.
molested.
You're saying it was a cover-up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you
You're
supposed
saying-
to say things like
You're
that?
saying that you have
these
proof
days?
that it was a cover-up,
Is
that
that
Max
okay?
Landis had sex with a child and then killed 3 people.
Yeah, with a helicopter. And I'm also saying it was part of Pizzagate, too.
Actually, 4 people with the helicopter pilot. Did he die
I don't know if the pilot died.
Okay, whatever.
My
man.
boner died
that day?
that day.
That's the day that the music in your boner
Yeah.
died?
Oh my god, you two are ridiculous. Okay.
What
so,
So
the fuck are we
Orc Cop.
talking about?
okay. So I went looking for this script because I got to the end of this movie and I was like, you know what, Max Landis, I think you grew up when I grew up and you just fucking love Will Smith. I think you just love Will
Well,
Smith.
who doesn't? Who doesn't
So I
love
go to
Will
look at
Smith?
the script to see if there's anything, but it's like, oh, Ward has a I'm in charge around here buzz cut. Like, it's pretty generic, but I believe Max Landis always had Will Smith in his heart. I think the whole time.
No, I don't think so. That's Max Landis is a goddamn idiot.
He is an idiot, which is why I think, wait a minute, I have a whole theory, but let's get to the movie stuff. Okay, what is it actually about? Has anybody said that?
No, we've not discussed the plot of the movie
There
at
are
all.
orcs, there are humans,
there a plot of this
elves.
movie?
There's a prophecy.
There's a prophecy. Oh, okay.
So, can we talk about... We'll get to the plot of the movie. It's not that
Who
complicated.
cares? It's stupid.
And they tell you the whole plot like every 5 minutes to remind you what's happening, because everyone watching movies now is too dumb to see anything. You can't tell a story visually. You have to shout what's happening at them.
So, being that I don't remember shit of this movie, let me see if I can tell you
Okay,
the plot of it.
give it to
Tell
us.
us.
So, Will Smith gets paired with the first orc cop in history, who everyone hates. And he kind of hates him too because he, let him get shot, I guess, by an orc.
He was buying him a burrito.
Right.
and he got
And
shot.
he got killed. He got hit by
Will
a
got
shotgun.
shot, yeah. And then that guy, got away. So, they all think that, it's because, he lets his fellow orc guy go. Which, alright, so, it's a racial movie. That's the thing. And, early on, Will Smith, tells his daughter, no, orcs is people too. It's okay. Because she says something asshole-ish in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Like a child would say. So, he's paired with this orc he doesn't want to be paired with. Everyone's giving him shit. While they're out on so he hates him, of course. While they're out on assignment together, they run into some bad shit that makes them get closer together, of course. And then there's the MacGuffin of they need to get the magic wand, I guess, right? There's a magic wand.
There is a wand.
In the prophecies, if the bad guy gets the wand, bad news bears, right?
The magic wand causes everyone to completely lose their minds. The cops all become immediately corrupt when they see it.
Well, they all want it.
Yeah.
And most of them are just corrupt anyway, though.
Well, they all want bigger dicks.
Yeah.
Even the lady cop, played by Margaret Cho, also wants to have a bigger penis.
Right.
She said that in the movie. She said, I want a bigger penis.
Yeah.
With the magic wand.
Okay, but only a very special type of elf can even touch the bitch.
Not just an elf.
Don't
Spoiler.
spoiler.
Yeah, that's kind of where I lost the thread of this, too.
Okay.
There's, different elves and shit.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, who cares?
Okay, there's two factions of elves, just like there's good orcs and bad orcs. How is that hard to understand?
So-
There's orcs that work for magic FBI, and there's bad elves that rip people's heads off and slash people with knives.
I hate to take it straight to the race thing, but if they had casted a white cop next to the orc that's supposed to be the, analog for racism, that would probably not have gone over well.
No.
You're making some racist assumptions.
Here's my shit with this thing.
I just think it wouldn't have worked
I'm
otherwise.
Max
No, I don't think
Landis,
it would work.
and I'm gonna write this this story with orcs and shit. And there's gonna be this racial allegory, and so the orcs, you see them at one point in cholo gear, and then you see another gang of orcs, and Patrick's they're wearing their FUBU, and they are black and brown people. So
They're very much supposed to just be
what?
minorities. That's the analog. It's there's
Which
humans.
is why I think he loves Will Smith, because he's I really want Will Smith. So
I don't think. I think
He didn't
instead
have
of going
any
hard on my black and
control
brown
over it, I don't
real
think.
people.
no, yeah, the
Then I'll
scriptwriter
just
has no
do these
control. And
orcs.
didn't you say in the script it's not specified, and he just says he's got a
But he
buzz cut
wouldn't
haircut?
say that. If that was really in his heart, he wouldn't want to be crazy about it, because he loves Will Smith.
No.
Little kisses love.
Your
He does.
conspiracy
I don't think
theory.
it works that way.
It does work that way in this conspiracy theory.
If the original script didn't call for a black actor, then I don't think there's any reason to think that Max Landis. And once they bought the script from him, he didn't have shit to do with it
But
anymore.
I have reasons here.
All right, hit me.
It's hella spoilers. It encompasses the whole film. This theory. There's lots of yarn
no.
tied to tacks on the wall. Lots
Oh,
of
no.
things were connected to make it come together.
Jill, did you secretly like this movie also?
No. I fell asleep and I was so angry because I didn't want to have to keep watching it later. And I knew I was going to have to rewatch it. So I was extra sour.
This movie was basically made by committee after they bought the script. They changed apparently all but literally one line of the dialogue is the rumor that I read or whatever. And I mean,
From what little I read of it, it's very different.
Yes.
From
what little bit I got to take in.
My
of
guess
the
is the director
relationship.
had most of the creative
Well-
it's
control
not like
over
that's
it.
an uncommon thing. I
Yes.
think a lot of scripts go through 3 or 4 really
Of course.
major rewrites.
Sure.
But I'm just saying it's weird to even connect Max Landis to this past just somehow he was responsible for starting this whole damn thing. Like, I don't think he had dick to do with any
I
of
think the
actual
only
movie.
thing that survived from his script is that it takes place. It's like a modern
It's like
fantasy
modern
setting.
LA with fairies
Yeah.
and orcs and
The
elves,
cop
yeah.
orc partner thing
Right.
was in his script too. But that's really
I
it.
didn't make it that far
Is the MacGuffin even in the
through
script?
the script.
There was probably a wand. I don't know or care. It was a lot shorter. They added a lot.
It's only 96 pages, and this
Yeah.
thing is 3,000 years long.
So the elf lady that shows up in the movie is named Chicken Tikka.
Which one? Oh, Tika. Chicken
Yeah.
Tika.
Yeah, that seemed weird.
So she uses a wand to turn another elf lady inside out, which
Okay,
was
wait.
actually kind of cool.
This is when, like, some shit starts happening. They have done the world building, and Will Smith is, like, way too old for this shit. He's 5 years from retirement. He's been shot. Fuck everything.
He's both 3 days
He's
and
got
5
this
years
orc
from retirement.
partner, and whoop whoop, they get the call. They show up, and here's Chicken Tika. She's a hot mess. She's got a wand. Everything's fucked. And then the cops go corrupt. They're like, "Bitch, give us the wand." And when Will Smith is like, "I don't think so," they're like, "Oh, cool. We're gonna kill you and the orc." And then
this is when
shit pops off.
The second movie starts. Of the
Yeah.
movie. The first part was like, here's this weird fantasy world that's kind of dystopian and has all these different racial caste system things. And now it becomes a movie about them escaping LA
Yeah.
while orcs and gangbangers are chasing them.
Oh yeah, and the orcs want to kill them to fulfill the prophecy, right?
The orcs are mad.
They just want the wand.
They want the wand. Everyone wants the wand. That's a simple motivation.
We have 2 gangs of orcs. There are the very, like, the fucking Fed elves who are trying to get it to stop
Right.
a faction of elves who want to bring back the Dark Lord.
well, he's
And-
just one Fed elf.
They're like the secret society, like the Illuminati kind of, where it's like turns out elves, like, while they are shit on by humans, they're like behind the scenes, maybe kind of running the show, right? Is that not?
Yeah, I think that's implied. But there are also bad elves who are trying to bring
So
back the
they're
Dark
the
Lord.
bad ones who want to bring back the Dark Lord, and Chicken Tika has stolen the wand of
The main
the
one.
big bad Layla, who is what's her
Lee-
name? The girl with the dragon tattoo.
Lilu.
Lilu.
No, it's not that lady.
That is her, and not in the American version.
Oh.
She's in the other Netflix movie with the smaller budget.
She
What
was in
about
Prometheus.
Monday or
Yeah.
something's going on
Girl-
Monday?
The original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is great.
Yeah,
Those are some good movies.
So she is like the big bad elf, and Tika is like, "I got your wand, bitch. You sent an assassin for me. I fucked her up. Now I got your wand, and also I'm really good at free running because that bitch like climbs all the walls, running and fighting. She just jumps in the air, runs up a wall."
Okay, this was where I started laughing when we watched the movie. And I started to really enjoy it. Where before that I had sort of been going along with it. Mm-hmm. Even though there were a lot of shitty one-liners that weren't funny. But when she started fucking flipping around unnecessarily, and same with Chicken Tika,
Yeah.
both the bad elf and the traitor elf, who is a good elf, fucking did unnecessary parkour everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every time they could do unnecessary parkour, they were doing it. Like, she didn't even need to do it at one point to jump over a car, and she did like a sideways cartwheel over it just because it looked cool.
Well, they're so spry because they're elves, I guess.
Right, because this is Orc of the Rings.
I don't even know, man.
This is the sequel to Lord of the Rings.
Well, they can't. I mean, I actually give them a little bit of credit for that because then they're not all just like people in different suits. You know?
Right.
Ooh, wait a minute though. So when Lilu, the very bad elf, they come to a house because they're like trying to find the people who have the wand, right?
It's the same house that they come back to 5 more times during the
Okay.
movie.
And they fuck up this family in this house. And they are throwing people, like the camera's focused on her face and background. People are legit just getting tossed from wall to wall. And then one of them like walks up to the baby and is reaching out. And then they cut away and they never come back to that. Do they eat babies?
I think he just smothered the baby.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then bathed in its blood afterward.
And then ate
Because that's
the
what
baby.
elves do.
So
The dark
they're
elves.
bad.
Where do you think baby back ribs come from?
Oh.
This guy, he knows.
Oh no.
Come from
Anyway,
elves.
they're fucked, dude. They killed
An
the
orc
baby.
cop.
They let you know right off the bat. These are problem people.
I feel like that was a step foo for her to make them evil. Like, we get it. They kill
They're
people.
bad.
They don't
Their
need to
hair
kill babies.
is hella silky. They're bad guys.
Yeah. And their eyes are bright colored, so you know they're bad. They're wearing, like, super blown out contact lenses
And wigs.
and wigs.
And wigs for sure.
So you know.
I
Way to
know.
go, Ford.
Those are obvious.
He got it. Except for the guy who was bald. That was
a
not a
wig.
bald cap.
That was not a ball cap?
No.
He's really
That
bald.
guy was bald.
Got it.
They got
Still
me.
got it.
They got me.
Okay, so There was a thread that connects all of our movies, as Mr. Ford likes to bring up.
Sewers?
Both sewers and 3D slow motion CGI
Coming at your
camera
face.
moving around
Coming at
where
your face.
bullets are flying through the air. Shell casings are like bouncing off of shit and spinning into the camera. There was one scene where he flipped around to shoot all of the cops before he got shot, and for some reason it was in slow
Smith
motion.
did, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand why.
None of that even mattered because all of this led up to they're running with the wand, they're not doing well. And they have been captured by one of the orc gangs. This is the Cholo orc gang. And they are like, okay, we're gonna fucking kill you assholes. And they kill our orc cop, Nick. And they dump his ass in a pit. But oh wait, I forgot the most important part of this, which is that the orc that Nick orc cop let go.
We never even talked about that.
He let him go. Because turns out that wasn't the one that shot Will Smith. He just had a similar hoodie, so he let him go. And this is the motherfucker who's about to have to kill him when the Cholo orc gang takes him. And he
knew.
He saved me.
Because of his smell.
Yeah.
Because orcs have a really good sense of smell.
Their nostrils
That's something
flare.
they establish. And their ears go. Whenever someone talks about them.
But
you didn't notice that?
They
Are orcs
have
actually
these-
cats?
Yeah, in this movie.
It
Orcs
was,
are cats?
what did you say? It's the training day moment. Oh, you don't have to kill me because I helped you out and
Yeah.
but they don't give a shit. His
No.
dad's like, well, fuck you, bitch, and shoots orc cop and dumps him in a pit.
A pit which they've apparently dug under LA that
You gotta
goes
have a
straight
good
down
pit.
to hell.
You gotta just have a good pit.
And they're
But
down in hell.
that's not the end for him.
By the way, that scene is 4 hours long.
It's way too long.
It goes on for half of an hour. I think 1/4 of the 2-hour running time of this movie was that scene where he was threatening to shoot them, and then he finally shot the orc cop.
Okay.
And half the scene is Will Smith and the orc cop, and their faces are all fucked up, and they're just spitting blood out of their mouths.
Yeah.
And there's 10 minutes of that fucking shit.
Just
of them just going like this.
And you're talking about orc tradition or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because he gets shot and he did. But then Chicken Tikka is like, watch me use this wand and brings
She
him
goes,
back to
Expecto
life.
Patronum!
This sounds like
and
a
brings
fake
him back.
movie.
He
This
floats
sounds
up
like
out
we're
of the
making
pit.
it up.
And he's like, he doesn't even remember he got shot. That's how good her magic is. He's like, I feel fucking great. It's
We just
crazy.
keep saying the orc cop, and there's someone else named Chicken Tikka.
Chicken Tikka orc cop and the elf with the dragon tattoo. That's all you need to know.
What
Orc
the
cop's
fuck
name
is this movie?
Is Jacoby.
Oh, I forgot. It's Nick Jacoby.
Jabroni?
He has a human name. Has
Yeah.
anyone asked about that? Did anyone ask how he got a fucking human's name?
call
Why
him-
are the orcs named human words?
Jabroni.
What?
Because his
Jabroni.
family, generations
Nick
back,
Jacoby.
were like, we're not going to fuck up humans just to fuck them up.
Oh, that's right.
We're not about that life. And all he
Yeah.
ever dreamed of since he was a little boy was working with LAPD. Okay.
And they were shamed their whole lives for his decision to be a fuck up.
But because of this, he was never blooded, which I think is like an orc period.
Yeah.
His teeth were filed down.
He's round tooth.
Man, I hated this
Stupid
movie.
movie.
Okay, I loved this movie, especially during the 25-minute scene where the
wants
orc
to be
gangster
an orc.
gave us the background of his whole life.
It's his whole ambition.
Yeah, I do want to be an orc cop. See, if an orc can be a cop, then anyone can be a police.
Oh my God.
Don't you understand? That's what the message of the movie was. If you're Chinese,
Oh, wait.
if you're an orc,
So,
if you're a dwarf,
what did you
if
think
you're a centaur,
of
you can be a police.
the makeup of the orcs, of the elves? How was the makeup for you? Was it possibly Academy Award
I
nominated?
actually
worthy?
thought it was really good. I think the orcs...
Apparently
No.
shortlisted for an Academy Award.
The orcs looked good.
The orcs did look good.
Orc cop?
They looked as good or better than the Klingons on the new Star Trek, I
I
thought.
thought they looked good. That was money well spent right there.
It was a weird choice to have them all have, weird pigment.
Vitiligo.
Yeah, is that what it's called? I'm
That's
sorry.
what- you need to learn some things.
Were they
Okay.
splotchy?
They're
Yeah, they were all splotchy.
They're like blue and white,
Okay, yes.
splotched up.
But is that from centuries of inbreeding with white people? Or is that because
if
orcs
that's all
naturally
they
have...
got from white people genes, that is really disappointing for the orc population.
Isn't that not because of the bloodening?
Oh god.
No,
Maybe
because other orcs look like him
blooded,
too. Other orcs look like him.
But they got
They
the
all have the
tusks
splotch.
things.
Yeah, they
and
have the
his are rounded down.
I believe they're pronounced tusks.
You need to respect orc culture.
Okay.
I don't think they didn't call them tusks.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
I thought
think
they
so.
did.
I think at some point they did.
This down here isn't just called tusks when you have very, like on a...
Pronounced
they're
bottom
like...
A walrus? Look at a walrus?
Yes! What do you call
When
it
you
on a
have-
walrus?
Or a shepherd sea cow?
When you have what's
Extinct.
called an English bulldog underbite.
On a manatee, perhaps?
Look it up. Look up what they're called. You got the click and clack.
Okay.
Will Smith, I'm sorry I was getting a burrito while you got shot with a shotgun.
Dude, Will Smith.
It's called an elephant.
God damn it, porn. Oh my god.
Okay, so
Oh, you're thinking of a narwhal.
during this whole movie, they try so hard to make the two of these characters, like, lovable, but, like, they hate each other. They do the thing that Hell or High Water does, but that movie is so much better than this piece of shit. I'm sorry, I loved this movie. What was I was doing the counterpoint, right? Where I was liking the movie? I
Yes.
liked this movie.
Okay, so Will Smith is like, what, 75 years old at this point?
Well,
he's
no,
a
he's a
man of a
clone
certain
now.
age.
He's a clone, remember?
He is 48 hours from retirement when this happens, but also he's underwater on his house.
So...
Because of it's in the future and the
Oh
sea is
my
risen.
Did you notice there was a dragon flying in the background of
I
one
did.
scene?
Is that because of Donald Trump and
Well, I was actually wondering,
global warming?
like, what is Ted Cruz in this world? Is he an orc?
I assume he's there because they talk about Shrek in this world.
Or is he an elf?
They do talk
or a
about
hobbit?
Shrek.
Who is Ted Cruz? And who is Donald Trump? Is he like
Wait.
a bridge troll?
Wait. Does Shrek take place in the same universe as this movie?
Yes,
Well,
he
Will
makes
Smith
a
uses
Shrek
it as an
joke.
insult.
No, I'm saying like Shrek they're in the
Shrek's an ogre, first of all.
No, but
He's not a
like-
fucking orc.
Right. Well, perhaps, but who's to say
No,
that
not
this,
perhaps. He's a fucking ogre.
Who's to say that this place doesn't have ogres also that we just didn't see? Because Shrek's universe has dragons. We didn't
There were
see
centaurs.
orcs.
There were definitely
It's got
ogres.
centaurs.
There were
so,
ogres. We didn't
yeah.
see them, but they were there.
So I'm saying that so it's like how the Jetsons is like in human reality. Shrek is just a cartoon of the Bright universe.
But he's an ogre in that cartoon.
An ogre is not an orc.
But there can be ogres also.
I mean, there could
Sure.
be. I can't confirm
But
nor deny based
shouldn't
on
he
what
have
I
called
watched.
him like an Urukai or something? Doesn't that make more sense?
Call who that?
The orc guy that he was insulting when he called him Shrek.
No, because that's like us calling someone like Mr. Spacely.
Okay.
Shrek is also just a gross idiot dude. It's also just kind of an insult anyway. If I called you
Sure.
Shrek.
Right.
But
I've
the
been called
fact
Shrek
that
before.
Incredibly
Shrek exists for them and Shrek has the same... Because, okay, if they saw Shrek, it wouldn't be nearly the same movie as it is for us.
No.
Like, there are dragons and shit anyway, you know?
Well, all the racism in Shrek is much less effective in that world. Because they have a lot more racism just in real life.
Oh.
It's very ever-present.
Or like, okay, I mean, there are plenty of cartoons that are like, I don't know, Beavis and Butthead, you know? That takes place in our reality, right?
Yeah.
King of the Hill, The Simpsons, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shrek is just their reality cartoon. Figured it out. Cracked the code. Hang up the podcast.
So wait, they live in the when the world of Shrek advanced far enough for like police and cars.
Right, now it's in modern times.
Okay.
Shrek is kind of like watching, it's like Flintstones.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
You're wrong. But yeah, I totally understand
No,
what
I'm
you're saying.
fucking right.
This was a sequel to Lord of
Quit
the
kicking the
Rings.
table, Patrick. Quit kicking
You're right,
the
I
table.
kicked the table.
Don't
Put a
kick
dollar
it.
in the jar. Put a dollar in the fucking jar. In the fucking swear jar, you fucking
I'll put my
fuck.
penis in the jar.
No, don't do that. Oh no, baby, what is he doing?
Not the penis in the jar.
Don't put your penis in the jar.
Damn it, the last time you did that, we had to throw it out.
It's a good jar. Don't do that.
No one wants penis money.
Okay, so I'm watching this movie, and Will Smith is like, just doing sort of the Will Smith shit he does. Like, the only Will Smith thing he didn't do was, like, look an orc in the face and be like, man, your orc breath's so crazy. Like, other than that, he did every Will Smith thing he does. And this is why I was so hyped to see the script, because I was like, Max Landis, if this script is, like, close to what I'm seeing, like, I think you're like us, and you just, like, grew up on Will Smith being a hero, because I see so many of his movies.
What do you mean
In
grew
this
up on
movie.
him being a hero? Are you saying that he is not still a hero?
Are you saying that he did not, in fact,
I'm
save the world
saying
from
that-
aliens on
Okay,
Independence
you
Day?
know what?
Twice.
I'm
Seen the second
sorry.
one?
Well, he was dead
Oh,
in
right.
the second one.
Yeah. He was
Okay, so he has his orc cop
In the
buddy,
documentary.
dead.
right?
No, I want you to answer this question.
About what?
Is he not a hero?
Not to me, no.
What?
Yeah, he's a Scientologist, Ford.
But
Like a hardcore Scientologist.
do you know the truth about Xenu?
Okay, so
Have you been audited recently?
here's Will Smith, right?
I think her thetans are acting up.
Maybe it's not my thetans are fucked. Maybe it was not Max Landis, but somebody was like, you know what, Will Smith, I wish I could recreate like your relationships with your partners in all of your like buddy movies in one movie. And then they did, because our Orc Cop was dynamic throughout this. Okay, he was a lot of Will Smith buddies at various points throughout the film.
Yeah, that's true.
He was actually the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
The guy who played the orc.
He went through a lot of changes,
The who?
including being killed and brought back to life. What's that actor's name?
The Orc Cop?
The orc cop?
Okay, first of all, Patrick told me the Orc Cop was played by that tall, skinny guy from The Killing, so I was like kind of pumped at first because that guy's kind of hot. It was not Joel Kinnaman or whatever. It was Joel. What's that kid's
Edgerton.
name? Edgerton.
Is he
Not
the
the same
Is
guy.
he the one that you'll never forgive because he was a school shooter?
No, that is
No.
Ezra Miller. I will never forgive it.
Ezra Miller, if you're listening
School
to this.
shooter.
You're
Never
a school
forgive
shooter.
it. It broke my heart.
Call Jill.
Broken hair first.
She really wants a date.
Call me though.
She will still go out with you. She'll probably let you get to like second base.
She's just negging you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dying. Oh my
Yeah.
god. You're both dumb. That's
She's
fantastic.
just like pushing you off the swing because she doesn't know how to.
Okay, for real though, I don't know what that guy has been in.
Orc Cop?
Which guy?
Orc Cop.
He's been in a bunch of shit.
Orc Cop.
He was apparently in Black Mass, which I sort of liked okay.
He was in Bright on Netflix.
He was in Bright on
Did you know he
Netflix.
was the orc cop in Orc Cop?
Okay, so the movie's when it starts, when we first meet him, he's like trying to be all chummy with Will Smith, and he's doing the Harry Connick Jr. thing from Independence Day. Like, let's be buds, right? He pulls up in front of his house, and his neighbors are in their do-rags, and they're like, what the fuck? And
He's like, I brought you a bouquet of roses, Will Smith cop.
Will Smith is like, fuck you, you can't be on my lawn, bitch. Like, he's so pissed off. And
Good.
Will Smith is like, well, now I have to move.
okay.
Yeah, he is pretty much like that.
So then for a little bit, Orc Cop does this like Tommy Lee Jones straight-faced thing where he's doing a little Men in Black to Will Smith's Will Smithery, which he's just like, you know, everything is literal and I'm an Orc Cop and I'm not human, and like, come on, man.
He's doing a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, Strog.
Drax.
Strog.
Is that wrong?
The Burninator.
Drix?
Trog.
Trog. I'm thinking of Osmosis Jones.
Sturm.
Drax the Determinator.
All that's made
Destroyer.
up. None of that can be real.
Okay.
Okay,
Orc
but
Cop?
then they have these points where, like, Orc Cop, like, he speaks
Orc Cop?
Elvish, right?
He took 2 years in high
Because
school.
he took 2 years in high school. And
Of
he's,
Elvish?
like, educating, you know...
Of Elven. Is it called Elven or Elvish?
They
think he
say
said
Elvish.
Elvish.
Wouldn't it be the Elven language?
I like Elvish better.
Or Elvic language?
Wouldn't it be elfish?
Yeah.
Not elvish?
Or Elfic?
I don't know if we have enough
Elfin?
time to answer this question tonight.
Do you guys speak Klingon?
But during all of that,
Or
he
wouldn't it
goes
just be elf?
into like,
Speak elf?
I am doing Kevin Kline in Wild Wild West, right? I'm the genius, you're the idiot. Let me tell you about orc culture and this and that, and orcs hold grudges, so we're gonna get fucked up later.
Is there-
And then they do.
Is there an Orcish language?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds kind of like Russian.
the car speaks it when he picks him up. He's like, he speaks Orcish. And Will Smith's like, what's he saying? He's like, nothing good. It's not anything you would understand.
Okay, but all of this leads to what I think everyone was hoping this would be, which would be like the third in the Bad Boys trilogy, where they're like, they've both been shot to hell, and they're like, Will Smith is down, and Orc
They're on
Cop
the
has
ropes.
his head on his stomach,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh fuck, we survived. And they start doing this like Martin Lawrence, Will Smith banter, like we finally got to Bad Boys 2 at the end of the movie. Like all of this was just a Will Smith circle jerk, I swear to you.
No, I think that happened when the director got hold of it. And he was like, Will Smith, do
I
that
love
thing
you."
you did in all those movies.
His hand slapped when he met
Yeah.
Will Smith.
It's like how everyone hires Bruce Willis thinking that he's going to be diehard Bruce Willis from 1980. And instead he's, well, Bruce Willis, I'm going to do a
Okay,
scene.
but Will Smith,
You know, they
other
said,
than the
Will
orc
Smith,
breath joke,
we're gonna
that
make-
was Will Smith.
We're gonna make Orc Cop, and he said Orc Cop, and they said Orc Cop.
Orc Cop,
And he
how much do
goes-
it pay?
And he goes, no, you know how I do.
Oh my god.
And then they made Orc Cop.
I don't know, man. I wanted to like it. I like weird shit, and the premise I like a lot. And I don't know what happened.
He goes, wait, am I the orc cop? And they go, no, you're not the orc cop.
No, it's Martin Lawrence and a whole lot of makeup. He's the orc cop. It's a really weird transition from the Bad Boys 2, but trust me on this.
He's wearing a fat suit and a wig. It's called Medea 8, Orc Cop.
The weird thing is he didn't actually put on any makeup at all. That's what Martin Lawrence looks like. They have to make him up so that he can look like Martin Lawrence.
It's called Big Mama's House 6.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest follow-up to Bad Boys 2, which is great. Go see Bad Boys 2.
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2?
That's a good one.
It was like Blue Streak.
I like Blue Streak.
This movie was like
It actually kind of was like
40
Blue Streak.
fucking movies crammed together.
They did a little of that Dread, which I loved, where it's like, oh, we're trapped and everybody's after us.
Like,
And we only have
we can't even
two
go to the
shotguns.
cops because
Yeah.
we're the cops and all the cops
We're
are
the
Okay.
cops.
Yeah.
So there's a scene early in the movie where there's a crazy like techno Viking in the street with a sword and he's swinging it around at people.
He sure
and they pull
is.
up
I
and
forgot
Will
about
Smith
that.
has a friendly conversation with a Latinx cop who's standing there and he's like, "You got another 20 kids on the way?" And the cop's like, "Number 5, popping out of my wife next couple of days." And Will Smith's like, "That sucks." And then they arrest the techno Viking with a sword and he like makes the orc cop do all the bitch work because he doesn't want to like get on the megaphone and scream at him.
Yeah, everybody hates orcs. Weird.
They don't talk about that at all during the movie. They never mention that no one likes the orcs. That's never mentioned one time. But anyway, so they get this guy, and Will Smith takes the sword, and they like do this long shot of him holding the sword, and it was just for the fucking trailer. They never bring the sword back. I thought there was going to be a thing.
It's like the elves eating babies. They
Right.
never come
It's never a
back
thing.
to it.
No, but the sword is like set up. Like there's a long shot of him holding it, and then he's like, "Put this in the back of the car." And I was like, he's gonna pull that out later and fuck somebody
That's
else
gonna
with
be
it.
the only way to kill the Hydra. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some monster later, and they're
Yeah.
gonna need the sword. Okay, so this homeless man pukes in the back of the car, and then sits up and is like, "There's a secret order of people that are protecting all of you fucking assholes from the Dark Lord, and none of you believe
Shit.
me." They never mention those people again after he's interrogated. The, like,
Wasn't that the elf guy that was like this,
The
G-Man,
FBI agent?
the G-Man like elf
Was
guy?
he supposed to be one of the
Yeah.
good guys?
No, he was like the Illuminati secret society
Yeah.
that's just like in the control room with them being
Trying to stop the Dark Lord.
like and when it's over
When did they
being like,
mention that he was the good guy?
They said
no, he's not
people
really a good
are-
guy. He just works for like the like Council of Nine or whatever.
No,
the
they
fuck.
called them the Shield of Light
right,
or
The
something
Shield
like
of
that.
Shield of Light, yeah.
versus the Inferni or
Right.
whatever.
But like the Shield of Light, not necessarily good. They just
They're stopping the Dark Lord.
So
They need that wand from
my
the
point
pitch.
was though that I thought they were setting something up with the sword and that guy, and then it never
maybe that's
played
movie
into the rest of the
2
movie.
or movie 3.
Oh, stop. Don't
Well, it really
say,
felt like
don't say that.
since they did a sequel, or they're doing a sequel already, that this was just a lot of setup.
Right. No,
Because
it
there were a
was.
lot of things they just kind of left out. The chicken tikka got away at the end. Nothing happened to her.
Like
She
you
was fine.
said though, I would be okay with this being like a TV show. Like if they could have
Yeah.
it more be like kind
I'd
of like a
watch
top
it.
drama show, and each episode is either like a plot advancement one or like a
Yeah.
monster of the week kind of thing. That'd be cool.
The problem for me with it, and where my enjoyment kind of ended, was the tonal mismatch of it. Where at first it kind of worked, and you were like, this is weird and silly, but it's not too silly. But
Like
then
he's like chasing, like trying to like bat like a fairy away from his
Yeah.
like, house, and like ends up killing it. And it's like over the top violent and shit, and everyone's like, "Ugh,
Right.
Jesus!" Like, "Ugh."
Fairy lives don't matter today.
Like,
yeah. What? And Joe pointed out while we were watching it that the little fairy is not like a bug. It's like a little humanoid
It's a
creature.
humanoid creature with wings, and it's like, I want to say like 8 to 10 inches tall. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a little bug, like a Tinkerbell. It's like something with a face. You gotta look it in its eyes while you beat it with a broom. Like,
Well, like,
what the fuck?
I'm surprised that you don't know this, but in like Harry Potter world, little fairies like that, while like looking humanoid, are very much just like animals. Like
Yes.
Sure.
like infested or whatever. Like this, like they're even more like a cat, almost like a smart animal.
They are, but if I have to kill that and I gotta look into his fucking human face, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but they don't. They just want to fuck up your shit.
Well, they eat dog food. So says this movie.
Fairy lives don't matter.
Fairy lives don't matter today.
So says
So
Will
says
Smith.
Will Smith.
So says me.
this movie.
It's shit like that that made this movie just...
Unbearable.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it.
Fairy lives don't matter today.
I was hoping it might be surprise, like, kind of awesome.
No.
There are things in it that feel like in a better movie, with a better script, it would have worked better. The tone clash would have worked better. The whole idea of doing like a modern fantasy setting is a great idea.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, it's a great premise.
It is.
But the thing we got in that world, the world building was, to me, fine. I was okay with all
I
of it.
did
okay.
have a poo-poo against the world building, which was, why are there female elves, but I see, like, 2 female orcs in the titty bar, and that's it. Where the fuck are the lady orcs? What
Where
is
are the
going
If you know
on?
anything
Titties.
about orcs, you don't want to know where the females are.
Oh.
Here's the thing.
There are plenty of
The
lady,
orcs
male and
didn't
female
DACA
elves.
at all in this movie.
Yeah.
There was no DACA.
Oh my god.
And there was no WOG at all.
Yeah.
0 WOGing.
And, like, their economy wasn't based on teeth.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of over shit that's like, let me write this cool, racially charged story. It's like if you, to me, you have a black guy, right? So if you're gonna have these other races of people, I guess I wanted more mysticism. Like, I'm not trying to look at what are basically black and Mexican people in orc makeup.
Right.
Well, that was the weird thing about them being dressed up in like FUBU clothes.
Like, what?
because they wouldn't have their
Chains and
own
shit?
gang culture. Like
What?
if they were in
This
clans,
is my thought. They would have their own shit. The elves eat
Yeah.
babies. Why can't they have their
Yeah,
own
Well,
shit?
elves are wearing shirts that say like "I heart eating babies." So where's the orc equivalent of
And
that?
there are basically 2 possibilities. It's that they're wearing the same shit that human gangs are, or they're, like, aren't human gangs in this reality, and, like...
But there are, because we saw one.
So then what
We
the
did,
fuck?
the Altamira gang.
But they're dressed just like the orc gang.
Exactly.
That's what makes no sense about
like
it.
this felt. Oh, I don't.
And
I,
you
you're
could make the
not-
argument that like orcs are appropriating human culture, I guess, or like emulating what they see.
Well,
But they're
I
like
mean-
humans are wicked fucks. You know, get blooded. Like
Right.
The whole. I don't like when people.
It seems like they would want to have their own thing because
like,
of how
let
separated
them
they
have
are
their
from.
own thing, because what I saw was they don't have their own thing, and you have this like racial allegory that's really fucking lazy.
Yeah, it wasn't like District 9, where even though it was like
no,
super obvious
I
for what it
loved
was,
that version of that story too. This
where
was
they like
lazy.
filmed actual South African people talking about apartheid
Mm-hmm.
and then used it in the movie because it was perfect, and they just cut out the bits where they were talking about human people. Yeah, that all worked because it wasn't smashing you over the head with it.
I don't know, whatever. It's getting a second one. Can't wait to do that one.
Fuck.
I think Netflix deserves some credit for putting this fucking weird movie out
I mean,
that
like,
never would have
A lot
made
of
it.
people apparently really like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
We have fam that liked it.
it's not like it was, like, offensively bad.
No.
It was just super fucking dull to me. It's like eating, like, a bowl of, like, Kraft macaroni and cheese.
I fell asleep.
Where, like, it's fine, and sometimes you, like, crave that or whatever, like, occasionally, but, you know, it's just kind of like, eh.
One of the things that I noticed is that there were 4 or 5 sets, maybe, and they went back to 3 of them, like 8 times. Over and over, they revisited the same places.
Yeah.
Is that just
And the
out of
excuse was like
cheapness?
the FBI was following them, so they were going to each spot. But then they went back to the same house later because the pool of special magic light with a tree was under
For
the
Chicken Tikka.
house. For Chicken Tikka, where the showdown happened.
After she resurrected or cop, she
Spoilers.
drooled black shit.
Turns out
And blooded also, apparently.
Will Smith is a Harry Potter.
He is. He could touch the wand.
He can
and
touch
the
the wand.
last human we saw touch a wand, like, he
Exploded.
exploded. And they breathed him in. And Will Smith made a point to say, I think we're breathing them in.
Oh my god.
How about that orc breath?
There was a scene where they were running in a car, they were being chased by someone, and there was like a series of one-liners, one after the other, and Jill almost got cancer. Like they physically hurt her. One after the other, it was just like a punch in her gut over and over again.
Okay, so my dad loves a Will Smith action movie. And I've watched them so many times that it just felt like, just shut up. Just don't say anything. Because it doesn't feel like, Bad Boys 2! Watch Bad Boys 2.
There's
Do
not enough
that.
action in this movie to justify recommending it, really.
There's some explosions. But it's so slow to get there. Like, I don't usually just pass out during a movie. But all of a sudden, I woke up in my warm coat and shit had gone down and I didn't know what was going on. Like, it's
So-
just a lot of movie.
It's about 40 minutes too long, maybe 2 hours too long. But would you recommend anyone watch it?
Is it about 2 hours long? I thought it was a little longer.
It's like 2
It's
hours.
like an
exactly.
hour and 50 minutes, like 48 minutes.
Word. I don't know. Decent, like, background movie.
Here's the thing, if you already pay for Netflix, there's no reason, like, not to. It's
You probably
there.
already watched it.
You may
You
have
probably already
watched
watched.
everything else.
Let's be real.
You watched it the day it came out. Then you posted on
watch
Twitter
Travelers.
about
Do
it. Yeah,
that.
watch Travelers.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Travelers, do.
Finally started it.
You like it?
So
Good.
far.
They spend their money well.
What's the
It's a
show
good concept.
about the guy who can't get off unless he's talking to a serial killer?
Oh, that's called Travelers.
Is that a movie or is that just like a monologue in a mirror?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Okay, and on that note...
you're a gem.
Oh, you're thinking of our chat room. Hashtag on IRC.
Yeah, donate to our Patreon to get access to our IRC channel.
IRC.freenode.net.
I don't know
Don't
what that
tell them
means.
what it is. Otherwise, we can't get them to pay for the Patreon. God damn it.
Channel is Unwanted Epilogue, and you can come talk to a serial killer and get off that way.
Wait, who's a serial killer?
If you're with two
Could it be
people
anyone in here?
and they're not serial killers,
Then it's you?
yeah.
It's me?
1 in 3 people in this room for sure. I can't speak for other rooms in this room.
You know those long periods of time?
That you lose.
No, where you remember being out serial killing?
Oh gosh, golly. Thanks for listening.
So, we've had a good night.
That's it. Fuck this show.
If-
I hate you, Max Landis. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Love y'all.
Bam, bam, bam.
Don't pay taxes.
Bam, bam.